Hi everyone, 7.2 hit, pretty excited. I'm going to try to, I've played like a day and a half in 7.2, so I'm going to try to give you a quick synopsis on what I think is important out of the patch notes so you don't have to read all the way through and get a better start than what I got. So here we go. One of the first things is the map changes, and inside the map, the ground has basically changed. Let me start here on the radiant side. The bases are the same, but if I go on out here, we can see there's these high ground to low ground transitions. Let me hit play on this game, in which our big difference is near all the tier 2s. And the jungles feel a little more spacious, more easy to zone in and around. But since that high ground is near all those tier 2s, it'll be advantage offensive team when they're setting up near it. So that's something to look out for. Also, the runes, if you're going to take the rune from your enemy, are now more dangerous. You can see these cliffs on both sides here. This is like a deadly trap for you. And the rune here is still, they can wait on high ground here to make sure it's safe before they go in. The same thing with this radiant bottom safe, and then the dire off. Both similar situations. Now Roshan's still in the same place, so nothing changed on that. Alright, so deny mechanics are a lot different than they previously were. This is still important, so I'm still going with it. It's a 25, you don't get the 25 experience for denying a creep anymore. And they don't, I believe they still don't give experience if they're denied, because it doesn't say that's changed. You'll have to double check that. But creep denies now give 20% of the gold bounty. What that means is your carry, usually play the support role, will be wanting you to be out of lane more often, in the sense that because you'll be leeching experience, and then you doing denies will be gold in most cases they can get. So that will be a fairly big change. Next, teleporting's changed just slightly in that everybody's got a slot for it, a dedicated slot for TB scroll, so it no longer takes up a spot in your inventory, which is nice. I like it. Yeah, the custom keys. So if you already have custom keys set up for your TP scroll, you're going to need to set them up, because it puts it at T for me because I have things mainly at default. But if you already have custom keys with T assigned to something else, your TP just won't work until you get to that. Alright, so neutrals give a little bit more bounty. That encourages you to stack camps, no big deal. We have the hero selection for randoming. Right now, when you hit the random button, it does not select your as a option to be random. It removes 25 of your least played heroes from the pool, which I don't like, which removes the true random. And random can only be now used for the first two hero picks on your team. So 1 and 2 got it. I like my team to wholly random, so I really don't like this. I can see this when you're playing like single draft or not as a team, but if you're a team of 5, they need to make an exception for this, that your whole team can random if they want. I would really appreciate that. Now armor's changed. I don't get it, so I'm skipping it. I'll give you some information maybe at in the info section that I find on it. But I know that armor subtraction strats are a lot stronger than they used to be. Hero kill bounty XP. I'm just skipping that. Mana health power regen. That's another thing. You can read all the details, but they're basic changes to everything that only slightly affect everybody. It won't feel too much different from what I've been playing before. Now we got the root mechanics right here, and the root mechanics are different in the sense that when you root somebody at any point in time with any form of root, the town portal is now cancelled by root. Not just some roots, but all roots. That is nice. A lot of the abilities are now changing over to root as a summary of this. Like if you already have a root in a character involved like Crystal Maiden, it will work like a normal root. It will not interrupt channeling, and it will not interrupt the current action when you start it, which kind of nerfs heroes like her, but can be a little bit. It's generally good. I think it's good for new people coming to Dota to easier understand it, and it makes it easier for all of us to understand it. Another good change is right now cleave and splash damage changes have gone through. Cleave now is lowered by your armor. How much armor you have, you are more resistant to the amount of damage coming out. Instead of it acting like what felt like to be pure before, that's the wrong description, but that's the way it felt when somebody's cleaved. You took 65% of the damage, it felt like it was pure damage to left and right. Now you can actually take away armor and do it, and it feels better. But now armor subtraction strats work really well with cleave and can make it a lot stronger. I've seen both in action. Basically, there's a lot of words here. So spell immunity and dispels. BKB is better. BKB will stop a lot of things that it previously went through it. So they're streamlining things to make it feel a little bit better. And let me pause this game so it stops making those background sounds. It's just BKB. It's going to be a must on most carries and extremely useful. Even Poison Sting can now be dispelled, which is great. Oh yeah, and Hex now can be removed by a strong dispel. So strong dispels are really powerful currently right now, and that means Hexes will probably be going out of the meta because they can be countered. Alright, towers and structures, they have more health, less armor, something like that going on. No big deal, you can read it. I'm going to summarize the miscellaneous changes instead of scrolling through it with the ones that I think are important, and that'll be useful to get you jumping online a lot quicker. Alright, so miscellaneous change that came right to the top for me is scan no longer ignores Roshan Pit. So you can scan and now see if somebody's in the Roshan Pit. That keeps people who are wasting scan on the Roshan Pit all the time, which is nice. Now, opening the secondary shop. Let me show you that. Alright, I'm here. I'm clicking on the shop. So the shop looks odd. It looks like the standard shop, and everything that you can buy, you can't buy from it is grayed out. Now, this is good and bad thing. It's a bad thing that I was used to it the other way, and quickly finding items takes a while, but if you're new to Dota, this means they've all been streamlined. So if I jump over here and go to this guy right here, this Yale secret shop, those items get highlighted too. So this streamlines it to make it more the same and simpler to understand, but it's a little confusing if you've been playing a little bit. Just something to be aware of, that you're not going to be able to click where you think to buy items. But I do appreciate the change. Let's continue on. I'm just going to read it from the list I got. Added to game state is a thing called leash. It looks like root, but I don't understand it yet. No big deal. Self-damage does not disable healing. Clarity, Bottle, Blank, i.e. Slark, Poof Cloud that he makes. He'll still be able to heal through it, which is cool, or keep his mana pot going for when he's jungling. Pudge, with Tranquils on, can now start rotting before he blinks. That's awesome. That's great. That makes those items even better and easier to understand. Now they'll still get busted from enemy damage. Backpack no longer can be manipulated while being taunted. I assume this goes for, I haven't experienced it yet, but if Axe jumps you, you can't throw things into your backpack, so you do less damage to yourself if he's got a blade mail on, or winter ults, and instead of you killing your ally because you're putting items, or you stop killing your ally because you put items in your backpack, you just can't do that, which is good. It's a needed change. This is actually going to help out Winter a lot. A lot of people who are better at the character just put their items in their backpack, so Winter's ult really it wasn't very functional. A lot of most movement speeds talents are reduced, and killing a sentry or warden now prints out a notification. Now this ain't big or that important other than you're a support player like me, so you'll get a little more notice because people know that you're doing stuff on the map instead of just yelling at you randomly that you're not doing your job. If you're doing your job, they'll get to see it. It's kind of nice.
Your middle tower is under attack.
So we'll scroll down. So basically, this is all most items have gone to
Your
percentage.
bottom tower is under attack.
Let me quiet that. I guess I just have to disconnect. That was my bust. Alright, so I thought I was watching another game instead of playing one. Boosted speed, 15%. Power treads, 15%. So they just give you this this math stat, which is great. I think this is good. It just makes certain people faster, certain people a little slower, but is a little more. I like this change because then you can get to max move speed, and some characters can go over max move speed now. I think they changed Spirit Breaker and some other things. It'll just help make that more fun, I think. Leaving that game. Phase boots, reworked. It confuses me. I'm not really going to go into details about it. Alright, so I just made a quick list here of all the items that I think there's a lot that are changed. There's slightly just +1s or -2s to stats and things along those lines. But I'm just going to summarize on the ones that I think are important. Though I should mention that a lot of items now have status resistant values, which have been given all over game. So skipping that, let's go to the new guys. So we have Ring of Tarkas. I mispronounced that completely wrong. But there you go. 150 health, 3.75. We have Holy Locket, some magic resistance. It passively amplifies heals and regeneration provided by 25%. Interesting, fun. Not sure if it's very useful or not. Probably very situation. Crowns, just another thing to replace something else, just for all attributes. Yasha and Kaya is what it says. It adds Yasha to Kaya, so you get that intelligence and movement speed and attack speed bonus with having a Kaya. These are good. These are spellcaster things that I think were needed. And then we got Kaya and Sands if you need it to be strength based and want it to be a little more tanky instead of needing to move around a little faster. Here's phase boots. They're a passive instead of active. Like I said, really confused. Not sure if they're actually good now or not. They feel worse, except 5 armor is a lot. But you really can't actively run away or run towards a target without selecting an enemy within a 900 range, so they don't feel as good. Now Solar Crest has been basically completely reworked. So 12 armor, 10 all attributes, 6% movement speed, 0.5 mana generation. When you cast on an ally, it grants them 12 armor, 70 attack speed, 10% movement speed. When cast on an enemy, removes the armor, attack speed, and movement speed. That seems like a lot of fun and a very good support tool, especially giving like any of your carries 70 attack speed and 12 armor. That's insane to go push high ground or defend the spot. Now Force Staff, the only reason I put Force Staff on here is because where did I put Force Staff? Let me read my notes real quick. Force Staff. Oh yeah, Force Staff now overrides Slark's Pounce, which is awesome. So in any Slark game, you're always like, I can't buy Force Staff because it's useless. But now, thank goodness they fixed that, because that was ridiculous. Ridiculous. Alright, so I think let's make sure. I gave you all the summary of all the ones I think are of great importance. Now they did change the items, and they did things like gem drops, and you get ground vision and true sight on that. I haven't really tested that out yet, and there's a ton of hero reworks and a ton of very exciting hero reworks, but what I'm going to do is I assume Purge went into all these extra details, and some heroes like Lich are a lot of fun now, and I mean Dazzle's basically a different hero than he was before. So big changes along here, but no point in me going into super detail. If I do that, I think I'm gonna go make a video about the ones I like. So at the bottom of my vid, I'm just gonna, in the info section, I'm gonna put a link to Purge, and you can 8 hours jump around. And if I'm ambitious when I watch Purge, when I finally get through the 8 hours, I'm gonna timestamp his stuff it'll be in my info section to his sections and when he gets to sections, because it's probably like 3 to 4 hours later. You just want to get to this point and that point. I'm going to put this timestamp in the info part of my video. It might be in his. If it's in his, then I won't do it, but that's the plan. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this helps you out. If you do subscribe, I chill, I play Dota. I'm going to start producing some more content based on me being more useful to the community and folks, like tests of characters or little things that are 5 minutes. But mainly I just play with my friends and record it, and hopefully some people get some stuff out of it. Peace. I'm glad the patch is here. It's pretty cool so far.